and there's the G train. 9 goals last time they met. How's this for a turnaround in form, Sauce?
Yes, quite unbelievable. When you look at round 1, 2001 to round 15, 2003, 47 games, only the 42 goals and 245 marks. When you look from round 16 to 203 to round 4, 204, in 10 games he's kicked 49 goals, 70 marks, averaging 7 marks a game. Sensational turnaround.
He's found a spot, hasn't he? Primarily, he's found one at full forward. And we'll see who gets the job on him today.
Just about since that mullet was shaved off, I reckon. The big question is, who's got Rewalt? This is a big game, the Saints and the Kangaroos. John Baird's the man. Many people tipping an upset this afternoon of sorts with the Kangaroos. Match up well against the Saints. Their record is fantastic, but the Saints are in hot form as we start at the Dome in the first ruck. And first tap went to Porter, who roved his own tap, got the handball away. Sinclair's in there, Noble smashes it forward. Harvey's there for the Kangaroos. Won the hard ball, but his handball's intercepted by Dal Santo. Can't control it. And a free kick is going to St Kilda's way, and it is Dal Santo to take it at half forward. Waste no time. Target is Rewalt. Spoilt by Baird. Did it well, just punched the arm away in boxing style. Now Simpson from a standing start. Left foot kick is good, and it finds Shannon Grant at half back.
As Wells loose.
Poor kick though from Grant, intercepted by Harvey. Gets it away, Milne the target. That's Sansbury number 32, putting the pressure on. Gehrig makes his move now. Perhaps a fraction early he made it.
The Saints had Gehrig, Hamill and Rewalt out of the square.
Well, Porter's back there, so he wouldn't be advised to go long. He may have to though. No, he doesn't. He takes him on. Stephen Milne may have got himself into more trouble than he thought, but he kept on going, and Porter back there. Could he get a fingernail to it? No! Stephen Milne! How did he manage to do that?
Oh, that is clever, clever play. He knew there were no options, so he just took the opposition on. That is a sensational start to the Saints. I can't believe that Mark Porter didn't actually touch that ball.
It looked to me that he actually got a fingertip on it, but he didn't seem to protest when the umpire put up the 2 fingers. This is one of the first times this year Milne's actually taken them on. Maybe Grant Thomas has had a word to him. There's the kick. Porter on the line, and, well, the umpire was in perfect position, so he's really the only man that can tell. But it looked like Porter might have got a fingertip on it, but it matters naught now. Umpire in perfect posse. So Stephen Milne, he's taken him on, and it's come off. A fantastic opening goal of the Saints. Back in the middle. Putting his head down is Ferrito. Got it to Harvey. Now Sinclair. Kangaroos into attack for the first time. No Mark Goddard. Maguire having a wonderful season. Harvey. Will he take on Lenny Hayes? He does. He runs along the boundary, but there's a free kick coming back, and it's going Maguire's way, just as Harvey was about to have a shot at goal.
The Kangaroos are starting with 3 talls, Brown, McKernan and Petrie up forward.
Maguire's kick, scrappy at best. And Simpson takes the mark. Robert Harvey looks like he's running with Shannon Grant. And Rawlings on Hayes from the early pick-up. Sauce will watch all those matchups with interest. Noble gets his big body in the road. Brown came over the top. Motlop trying to find a way, as did Powell. He was the most successful of the lot. Dishes to Maguire off the left. Rewalt in front of Baird takes the mark. Nick Rewalt, or Revold, as he said his name probably should be pronounced during the week.
Mark Porter, the Kangaroos ruckman, is dropping back into the forward line of the Saints.
Gets it to Goddard as they swing the ball through the middle. Noble winds up. Here comes Gehrig. Watt was with him all the way. Milne scooting through. Boundary line.
And that's what they need to do, the Saints. They need to use Noble because Porter is the man dropping back into the St Kilda back half.
Had one of the best games for the Saints since he's been there, Trent Noble, last week against Adelaide. See if he can back it up. Porter got the tap. Coughed up by Motlop to Milne. Snap at goal is good. I think it's another one. Well, Stephen Milne, by his standards, has had a quiet start to 2004. Just the 5 goals in his 4 matches. We know of his off-field difficulties at the moment, but Grant Thomas has stuck with him, and it's paying handsome dividends this afternoon.
Well, it was the Powell tackle that caused the turnover, and Milne was quick enough to swoop on the ball and kick his second.
So the Saints, what a start. Harvey pushing against Shannon Grant, thrusting it forward. Milne again. Kick two already, might get another chance. Hamill coming through Simpson, trying to get it to the line. He's successful in doing that. Stevens helping him take it over. Great confidence boost for Stephen Milne. Didn't play last year in round 16 when they met them, but kicked 4 in round 1 and 4 also the previous year.
It was a big job for Eddie Sainsbury, only in his 5th game.
McKernan doing the ruck work now. Hayes missed his opportunity. Del Santo in there as well. Remember last year in round 16, we can see the Kangaroos making plenty of mistakes early. The Saints just blew them away. Had 10 goals won on the board in the opening quarter before the Kangaroos had just about blinked. Del Santo's kick dangerously inside 50. Harvey. Ball up. And very healthy crowd building up. The Saints fans turning out in numbers as this success rolls on.
Gehrig to take the ruck work.
Look at all the numbers around the ball. Back in the goal scorer is Nick Riewoldt. Here's Guerra's kick.
Free kick coming back at it.
It was a goal.
Free kick to Hamill. I think it's against Colbert.
So Aaron Hamill back after a week's suspension.
Might be fronting again this week.
Well,
next week.
Well, that was it. Colbert
Yes.
grabbed Hamill, and Hamill, of course, didn't have the ball.
Seemed to be an enormous amount in it, but that was as ruled. Kicked 6 goals so far for the year. This is about his distance, and he gets it comfortably. And the Saints again have made a magnificent start. Already 3 goals on the board, and danger signs here for the Kangaroos.
Well, Jess, 3 goals in 6.5 minutes of football, and of course Aaron Hamill, his first game back after suspension. Free kick against Lee Colbert there. Hamill didn't have the ball, and he converted his opportunity.
Headaches for the Kangaroos. Saints off to a flyer. 5-1 of the inside 50 so far, and it's 3 goals to zip on the scoreboard. Kangaroos desperately need the next one. Simpson puts them inside 50 just. Big pack fly. There's a whistle on play here, and it's a free kick going St.Kilda's way. And the recipient is Kazitsky.
Kazitsky playing on Corey McKernan.
Noble's away again on the wing.
So is Aussie Jones. And the kick finds Jones. He's got Noble. No one within about 50 metres of him.
Smart play by Noble because Porter's dropped back.
So Trent Noble. Hits the handball over to Fisher. Ball ends up in the hands of Maguire. Hayes lost it. They've mucked this one up, the Saints. Corey Jones on hands and knees gets bowled over by Fisher. Umpires pin Corey Jones. Bit tough on your line. Get back on the turf. Nevertheless, it's a free kick to St Kilda.
Has to use Noble again.
Fisher wastes no time. His target's Riewoldt. Beautiful pass. Great lead. And Riewoldt will line up directly in front, kicking from 45 metres out.
Yeah, it's not a bad target to go to Nick Riewoldt.
So could this be the Saints' 4th? What a start. Riewoldt has slotted it through. Another one to the Saints. Well, Stephen Silvani, what do the Kangaroos almost need to start a fight here or something?
Well, they almost do. They've got to start winning the footy, and we just see that ball held in there. Could count himself a little unlucky. But certainly St Kilda controlling the game, dominating the clearances and also dominating the possessions.
Saints dominating the scoreboard. Kangaroos need to do something. But Harvey's kick, ineffective. Goddard. They're away again. Powell. Gary back in the square. So he kicks it in the Milne direction. Drop short. Stevens, Michael, chipping in. Motlop running for him. So they try and get themselves organised. Goes longer to McKernan. Del Santo mopping out. This is Black through the middle. Again, Noble. They're trying to use him to find a path through to attack with his direct opponent, Porter, playing as the extra man. Milne's got away. Again, he takes them on. Somehow he gets through. Robert Harvey. Opponents seem to just dissolve around him as Harvey kicks another one.
Great goal.
Didn't panic, did he?
On the board, unanswered by the Saints, and those long-suffering fans, they are just loving Saturday afternoons at the footy at the moment.
And we just see Stephen Milne on screen. It's been one of the real traits this year for the Saints. They get there in numbers, there was support there. Milne was in trouble, but Robert Harvey ran to Stephen Milne, was able to get the handball, and his class put that goal through.
Inside 50s, 8-1 in favour of St Kilda. And they're making it count on the scoreboard too, which is just as important. Ball lost the handle on it. Ball spills. Here's a chance for the Roos. Motlop gets it to Petrie. He misses to the right, but at least the Roos are on the scoreboard. Shell-shocked at the moment.
Frightening thing is Fraser Gehrig hasn't even had a touch yet.
Prefers to be called the G-Train these days, thanks, Anthony.
Sorry, Stephen.
Formerly known as.
Goddard accepts the pass. Powell away at half-back. Del Santo flying past, but decided to wait. Being manned up pretty much one-on-one now, all over the ground. Looks like Laidley's been forced to send the message out to Porter to stick with Noble.
And this is what St Kilda will do all day. Kangaroos tend to sit off their forwards, so they need to use the usable options, keep leading up towards the ball carrier.
Santo trying to break clear. Stevens stopped him only for a short while. It was Grimmer that went through, and Sinclair. That's what the Kangaroos need to do. They need to crash and bash in a bit, don't they?
Well, Sinclair ran over the ball. I mean, that is a mistake. He needed to keep the ball in front of him. Fortunately, he got back to at least cause his ball up.
Amazing disposal count there, and the Kangaroos suffered that after quarter time last week against the Swans. They were completely dominated. Free kick, and it's St Kilda's way. And it goes to Ball, who gets the lead from Gehrig. Watt in front, but just shrugged off.
Well, strength, wasn't it? Absolute strength. What I couldn't understand there, Hutto, is that Mark Porter was dropping back. He did not even attempt to cut this lead off. He stood 5 metres in front of the goal square. If you're going to stand there, you might as well pick up your man.
Well, as we mentioned, Fraser Gehrig kicked 9 last year. He had 4 in the opening quarter. I don't think he's missed. Kangaroos making a change. Meantime, as David King comes onto the ground and Porter goes off, the Saints' first blemish of the day, and the margin back to 30.
Sainsbury to do the kicking in. Goes the long option. McKernan flew. Staying down was Ferrito. Won the ball. Got it to Grant. Slick hands to Rawlings. Now Stevens. Here's a chance he can go all the way here, Stevens. He runs to 52. Goes for home. Great option, but just couldn't execute. Just misses for a point, but had the right idea. 31 plays too.
They do that very well, the Kangaroos. On kick-outs, they get on the fly. If the ball goes over the back, you are in a lot of trouble.
Jones and Hamill. He's got Del Santo on the wing. Again, this clean possession football by the Saints. Unimpeded. Rewald provides a target, but the Kangaroos have manned up pretty well, except for Goddard, who's loose at half forward. Del Santo can't see him, so he goes down the line. Noble again the target. Rewald stayed down. No free kick. And the umpire forced to blow the whistle.
The marks, Steve, 16-3.
Well, totally dominant, really. Kangaroos haven't looked like winning the ball at the moment. Just need to get man on man.
And the Kangaroos had been playing their best footy in the first quarter so far this year. They kicked 20 goals, 9 in the first quarters through the first 4 weeks, which is #1 in the AFL. But they're struggling today as Powell sends the Saints forwards again. Watley to Hamster, but Milne to clean up again. Over to Guerra. Another one. Yes.
There, and once again, St Kilda get it away from a stoppage. It was a kick by Powell, but a great first thought there by Milne. Got the quick handball out, and St Kilda kicked their 6th goal of the quarter.
The Saints keep marching on in the first quarter at the Dome. It's now 6-1, and here they go again. Lenny Hayes bangs it forward. Backing back the pack, no mark to the Kangaroos. Hands and knees as what? Dodgy handball. King gets there just in the nick of time. And the Roos are going to clear to half back. No mark taken by Ferrito.
Well, they are under enormous pressure at the moment, the Kangaroos. St Kilda totally on top, winning the clearances, putting a heap of pressure on all Kangaroo players.
McKernan got the front posse. Didn't tap it to anyone though. Hayes, great hands. Once again, Black pumps it long. Gehrig works his way to the front. Couldn't hang on to it. And Sinclair a mop up for the Roo boys.
Colbert over the top. Simpson through the middle. Sansbury, they're starting to run forward now. Jones comes out of the square. Fisher right with him and does well, gets a fist to it. And this young Saints team has stood up very well in defence in recent weeks. They haven't had to be too busy so far today, but Goddard makes the switch, and now Lenny Hayes, and the Saints are off and running again. Del Santo makes a lead at half forward. Hayes goes a slightly more direct free kick, advantage not paid.
That free kick there is a Kangaroos backman under enormous pressure. There is no doubt that these backmen for the Kangaroos at the moment are feeling the heat.
Centering ball for Rewald. Couldn't take it. Aussie Jones invading the forward line. That was Grimmer, did well. Linking up with Sinclair. And now the Kangaroos can go. McKernan heads directly for home. Bombs it long. Jones and Fisher, they've tried to isolate those two, but Maguire chips in to help out. Petrie over the top. Play on. Ball up.
He's doing the right thing in the air at least, Baird, isn't he? He's taking Rewald's arms, which is the old backman's trick.
Look at the time in possession. That was amazing. St Kilda 64% to 17.
St Kilda by 35 points. They're relentless at the moment. Here's a chance for the Kangaroos. Grimmer couldn't get a clear hand pass away. Del Santo, great hard ball get. And how's the follow-up handball to Aussie Jones, who steams down the middle, finds Hamill at half forward, too far out to score. He'll want to get it moving quickly. He goes short to Rewald, still a bit too far out. He'll play on, he'll go into the pocket. Kick's not great for Gehrig, but he kept his feet. Fraser Gehrig misses. It's exciting stuff over from the Saints.
Well, you can get carried away in a moment, Steve, I know, but even taking into account Brisbane over the last few years, this is some of the most exciting football we've seen.
No doubt about that, and you just look at the way they take the ball away from their stoppages. Guys like Del Santo ball, but they're there in numbers.
I know we only take it one game at a time, but they play each other next week, and that's going to be some match next Saturday night, the Saints and the Lions. Let's concentrate on this one for the moment. Brown versus Voss. Kangaroos, surely they need to get a goal here. Drew Petrie strolls in and he misses. What can you say about that?
Yes, just at the moment their confidence is shot. They look tired just purely that they're under that much pressure at the moment.
So the Saints worked the ball out. Should have been a goal of the Roos. Brown with strength did it nicely. Over to Motlop. Broke the tackle from 50, winds up. It's a good-looking kick, but again, just misses. 4 behind to the Kangaroos, but they need goals. St Kilda have got 6 of them. 6-2 plays 4 points. They're dominating all statistics at the moment, St Kilda. Ball takes the mark at half-back. To Goddard, who's free. Plenty of time to set something up. He goes the long option. It's a thumping kick inside 50. Back of the pack. Sinclair. And they'll have a bounce. 35 out from the Saints goal.
7 free kicks to 0. They're not only dominating the normal stats, but also the free kicks. They've had the last 7 clearances as well. The Saints make it 8 now. That was a high tackle.
That's careless, really. They've got a couple of goals from free kicks already, the Saints, and it looks like they might kick their 7th, but this is just a careless tackle.
And a bit of...
Well, he got him over the shoulder.
He did, yeah. But he certainly made the most of it, didn't he?
Another stat is to Clangers, 11-3. Roos under so much pressure.
Yeah. Well, he made an impact last week, didn't he, in his debut? 4 goals. And that looks pretty good as well. He can make it 7 so far. Saints fans looking a bit nonchalant there, the way they're clapping that. Oh, well, another goal.
Yes, and Guerra, he's 2nd for the game. Of course, kicked 4 games last week. But he'd be enjoying his time at the Saints land at the moment.
What would you do if you were him, Steve, Dan Laidley, right now? Would you just send everyone to the back line for a minute?
No, I think like his focus would try and just get one-on-one matchups, and I'm sure he'll be saying that at quarter time.
Well snared by Harris, but once again forced to kick under pressure. Ball spills to Wazzy Jones on the left, kicks it out in space. Beautiful spot up to Rewalt. How's that for skill? Rewalt wheels around on the right, goes long, tip of the goal square, big pack fly. King gets there first. Clever little underground handball to Sinclair. And the Saints keep it in their attacking 50.
We just saw Mick Rewalt there on the lead. That was his 3rd mark on the lead. It's a big day for Johnny Baird today to keep him under wraps.
Yeah, has he got the wind tank? So another chance for the Saints. Hamill. There's Mills slipped over at the crucial moment. Simpson the mop up to Sinclair. And his kick finds McKernan centre wing.
Who's got Harris going past. He ignores him. Petrie leading out of the square. Motlop at half forward and also Harvey. Petrie a long way up the ground, so he has to poke it into the pocket. And Corey Jones will have the shot. He's kicked goals in every match so far this year. Nine goals, 3 for the year.
Just looking at the other end of the ground at the moment, Brown has now gone onto Aaron Hamill.
So the margin is 40, and the Kangaroos have had a few opportunities. One of the better efforts. That was mighty close, and it's not just close, it's a goal.
Well, if there's ever a goal they needed, it was this one. The first for the Kangaroos, and it's come at the 24-minute mark of this first quarter.
So the Roos get there first, but they need plenty more. Hayes attacks it. Thompson. Pretty handy player to have coming off the bench. Now Hayes.
It's another clearance for the Saints.
To Ball. Plenty of time again to weigh up the options. His target's Rewalt. Well played by Baird.
Free kick.
No, too high, says the umpire. Over the shoulder. So another stack to Nick Rewalt.
And Quarters, if the clearance keep going the way they are at the moment, 15-3 in favour of the St Kilda, the Kangaroos cannot win.
Free kicks 9-0 in favour of the Saints. They've all been there, nothing controversial about that. Rewalt from a very tight angle. (7:3:45). 1:4:10.
It can be a good indication sometimes of free kicks too, Quarters, that the Saints are probably in first for the ball.
Target for Rito, but Hamill. Saints plucking everything. Hands up everywhere inside the 50. Harvey was the target. And he knew what he had to do, Hamill. As soon as he took the mark, it was Saints loose.
Well, they're in disarray at the moment, the Kangaroos, as we see Ferrito coming off the ground, Wells coming back onto the ground.
Just the one goal for the season so far until today. Going for his second. It starts left, and that's exactly where it stays. Never really been a noted goal kicker for all his brilliance and awards over the years. Aaron Hamill certainly in good touch today. 7 possessions, 3 marks.
King just goes as long as he possibly can, but it's a 2-on-1 contest. Jones did well, and no free kick. Thought I might have got one in the back. A bounce at half forward. Saints into attack, leading by 6 straight goals.
And just looking into the forward 50 for the Saints, the Kangaroos had 3 players that do not have opponents. So the Kangaroos dropping players back.
Ricky Ponting, maybe he can manufacture a miracle at the moment. Not even a big ton would be enough at the moment, would it? Of course, a mad Kangaroos fan is Ricky Ponting, the captain of Australia's Test and One-Day teams. Soon off to Zimbabwe. Rawlings along the boundary line. Penetrating kick into the pocket. That's an excellent mark taken by Michael Stevens in front of Aussie Jones.
Yes, he did that well there. Michael Stevens ran hard towards the goal square, gave Aussie Jones the slip. And for the Kangaroos' sake, let's just hope he can put this one through.
His older brother's out suspended today. See if he can kick a goal from the pocket.
Really haven't helped themselves in front of goal, Stephen. I know that's obvious, but 6 scoring shots to 11 is a lot better than 7 goals to 1. Simpson, they might get another chance as they reset here. But again, the kicking, letting them down. Straight to Harvey. High one for Kosicki. And this is where they've just been so precise out of defence. Schwartz, who's their backup ruckman since Blake's been injured. Hamill will be the target. Just kept Colbert at bay. In fact, the free's gone to the Kangaroos. First one of the day. Colbert onto the wing. Jones pushed off it by Thompson. Over to Schwartz. Along the line, looking for Rewalt again.
He's blown him up, Rewalt. He's blown Baird up.
Was he over the line? Well, it doesn't matter now because he certainly is.
Baird was at least 20 metres behind Riewoldt and was lucky to get away with it.
Well, he won't be the last bloke to be cleaned up by Nick Riewoldt in his career. 8 seconds to go. Can they get a ball to boot? Kangaroos moving nicely, but alas, the siren sounds to end yet another magnificent quarter. That's 13 in a row that the Saints have not lost so far. They've won 12 of the last 13 quarters. The other one was a draw.
Yes, and they'd be delighted with the way they went, the Saints. And the Kangaroos, well, they've got some regrouping to do at quarter time.
35 points in favour of the Saints. It was all happening for St Kilda. Grant Thomas still addressing the troops, interestingly enough. Dean Laidley. After had a mic on him at quarter time. Stephen Milne's really backed himself in that first quarter.
Well, this first goal he kicked was a beauty. He's struggled over the last few weeks, but he tucked that ball under his arm and he took that player on, and his start really did ignite the St Kilda onslaught.
Beautiful handball to Harvey, who, as I said, in heavy traffic, didn't panic. Just got back onto his right boot and slotted it through. And he has been a live wire. Stephen Milne back in form this afternoon. As we go to Andrew Maher, and the Saints fans will be loving this, Andrew.
Oh, they are quarters. I heard Hutto say during the quarter that St Kilda, I think it was off the back of the Guerra goal, they nonchalantly accepted the fact that they kicked another one. There's nothing nonchalant about the St Kilda supporters down here. They're loving every minute of this, and some of them, believe it or not, are already talking about next Saturday night. They can't wait for the Lions. 3 quarters to go. They can't wait to bring them on. So that's how confident they are.
Yeah, next Saturday night here at Telstra Dome, St Kilda versus Brisbane.
Saints won that one last year, didn't they?
It's a great game from memory. So we start the second term and St Kilda leads by a whopping 35 points. Poor bounce by the umpire. Allows Porter a free go at it to Grant. High ball.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, Black stood his ground courageously and rewarded with the ball. Del Santo to half forward. Hamill. Oh, that was courage too. Just couldn't quite come down with the footy. Brown goes short to the wing and finds Harvey. Looks like Brown's got the job on Riewoldt, Sauce.
Yes, the change has been made. Sinclair's gone to Mill also.
Inside 50 go the Roos. McKernan. Sainsbury overran it, and we'll have a throw in. Well, Brown, has he got the wind tank?
Well, you can be assured that Nick Riewoldt will be running Lee Brown all over the ground.
McKernan, deft little left-handed tap for Harris, who gets Grant. Fisher doing the spoiling. Sainsbury's been thrust forward. Jones did well, persisted. At least get ball to boot. And Sainsbury goes again. Just one thing in the Kangaroos' favour is this happened last year. They got blown away even more in the opening term and almost won the game.
The Kangaroos have Mark Porter just sitting in their defensive half.
McKernan's going to be pinged for that. He grabbed it out of the ruck.
Mark Porter is the free man, and you see him at the top of the screen standing all on his own.
Noble goes long. I'm not sure about the wisdom in the kick. Simpson a chance to really set it up here. Burrito lets fly to the square. Sainsbury in the middle of that motlop as well. Aussie Jones, the Saints numbers prevailing. Goddard.
Spot on there, Hutto, numbers by the Saints.
Jones got well clear, down to Riewoldt. And Brown gets the plaudits from the Kangaroos fans, being right there with Nick Riewoldt.
He did it perfectly. He needs to wear Nick Riewoldt down. He sport the ball and he falls on Riewoldt. That's the only way he's going to be able to beat him.
Just for the record, guys, they have come from further back, the Kangaroos, to win a game. They trailed by 40 points at one stage. They came from 41 down in the first quarter to win at Punt Road once in 1951.
Well, that would just give them a lot of confidence, wouldn't it? Lee Brown.
We weren't born then.
On the wing. I don't think anyone playing was born. Hale at the back. Kazitsky kept it in, such as the confidence of this St Kilda team at the moment. Nothing can stop them. Maguire with a shrug, over to Powell. Now to Hamill. They're flying forward. Black, they link up from half 40, kicks long, and here comes Fraser. But here comes Watt as well, and he gets it over the line.
I think Robert Walls was alive back in 51, wasn't he?
He might have been. He was playing back then, wasn't he?
It was last year.
Good afternoon to Robert up in Brisbane.
Safe distance.
Preparing for that match tonight.
Good luck, you two.
Revolt over the top. Brown did well in the end, guiding it into the safe arms of Harris. But they've got no options. They had to go short with the hands. There was no kicking options. Rawlings back on the ground, streaming through the middle. At least he's trying to go direct down to Petrie. Free kick. Yes! So the Kangaroo fans. And Drew Petrie will hope to do a lot better than he did last time when he had a set shot in this match.
Well, the movement was better by the Kangaroos there. They got the ball out of their defensive half quickly, and Petrie got the front position and was awarded the free kick.
He did it pretty well. Looked like he was almost holding the arm across the chest.
Been done before, I think. Signed for another 2 years during the week, Drew Petrie. Hardy's boot this afternoon, 3 behinds. He's about as faithful as David Beckham at the moment. Kangaroos, allegedly, 1 goal, 6. The Saints 7-4.
Harvey takes the mark at half back. Got the short on, and it's Black. So at least the Roos have managed to bottle it up a bit. He goes to the direction of Noble, who has plenty of size advantage against Simpson, but Simpson played it well.
Yep. And Dean Laidley will be fairly happy with the game, with the way this quarter started. As you said, Stephen, the game's just been held up a little bit, so at least the Kangaroos have become opponent responsible.
They've stemmed the flow, but now they've got to score goals. Saints have numbers at the ball. Black. Oh, great vision to Hayes. That was tremendous stuff. Now Thompson to half forward, looks for Rewolds. He got Milne on short. He goes a bit longer to Gehrig, and Fraser Gehrig will line up on a slight angle, kicking from about 47 metres out.
Yeah, great footy by the Saints. Rewald on the lead and released the ball quickly, as you just see there. Turned around nice and quickly, and Gehrig was on the move.
2 behind so far this afternoon. 21 goals, 12 for the year. And Gehrig has put it through. So Fraser Gehrig's on the scoreboard as far as goals are concerned. 22 for the season now. And that was all set up by a wonderful handball from Black in midfield.
Yeah, great usage all round. Black, Thompson, Rewald and Gehrig to finish it off.
There's the player ranking so far. In fact, St Kilda have 10 of the first 11. Adam Simpson, the only one breaking a clean sheet there for the Saints, who are still dominating this game. 40 points, that's their equal biggest lead in the game. And here they come again. Powell, Del Santo, over to Thompson.
Thompson, who started on the bench again, once again having a good day. Revolt from the side, couldn't stop Brown that time. Milne. controlling it nicely. Harvey going a long way back. You can switch here, but Maguire deciding
he's got numbers now.
Go back down the line to Hayes, and then over the top to Goddard. Still Porter is back there trying to fill that hole.
Noble having a field day. He's just by himself in part of the ground, isn't he?
Thompson takes the mark, back to Powell. So many numbers back, so he sets it up. Now Hale's got to go here, no one to compete against. Takes the mark. Maybe that's a sign of what's to come this afternoon. The Kangaroos being forced to go defensive, but even then they can't clear their area. That's the whole problem with flooding back to such an extent. You just can't find a way out. We saw Richmond suffer the same fate a couple of weeks ago on the Monday against St.Kilda, Steve.
Yes, always tough when you get numbers back. If you don't get the ball on quickly and get some run out of the back line, it is tough to find those options.
Just see the confidence flowing through the St.Kilda players, not just through when they've got the ball, but when they haven't.
But the Kangaroos are under enormous pressure.
Goddard was the man over the top. Roos running backwards here, trying to save the day. Wells further back. Watt has to kick it somewhat like a rugby player towards the line. Such is the defensive mindset at the moment of the Kangaroos. 11 marks to 2 in favour of the Saints for the quarter.
And the uncontested marks of the game are 38 to St Kilda, 11 to the Kangaroos.
Revolt again with a tap, Brown roving it. It looks like the Kangaroos are going left of screen, not right of screen, but they get away now, but for how long? Thompson, a rejuvenated Andrew Thompson to the top of the square. Milne, one out with Sinclair, had the height advantage. Enter Aaron Hamill. He took 3 on and earned the free kick. Might have got the wrath of the Kangaroo fans.
A couple of great passages of play there. The one was Thompson to get across and intercept the ball. And this one, Aaron Hamill, well, that's been the story of the game so far. He made the play, and they're winning the free kicks. He's in first. He's hard. The Kangaroos should take a leaf out of this man's book.
So Aaron Hamill, what a game he's played. 4 marks. That's for his second. It was a very ordinary kick. And Gary almost conceding a free, but in the end they allowed the behind to be counted. The Saints' 13th scoring shot takes it up to 8-5 to 1-6.
This Robert Harvey just coming off the ground for a rest has been replaced by Luke Ball.
Harvey with 8 possessions so far, Hayes with 10.
And this is the biggest margin in the game, 41 points. How about the marks? 43 to 13. Make that 14. Total domination by St Kilda. And they're a long way from home here this afternoon, so anything can still happen. To the winger, that's an excellent mark taken by David Hale. Gets it moving quickly, inside the 50. Motlop, almost. So a chance for the Roos. They need to manufacture something. Hayes, oh, great hands once again to Powell. Another fantastic clearance. The kick was poor, however. Sinclair backed himself. Didn't have any support. But well done, Jess Sinclair at the bottom of that pack.
Well, they talk about Brisbane's Fab Four, Sauce, and we know they come up against the Saints next week. They've got the Super Six, haven't they? Hayes, Powell, Hamill, Black, Del Santo and Harvey.
Well, you think if there's anyone that's going to challenge Brisbane's midfield, it is this St Kilda midfield. And they still have improvement.
Luke Ball, I should have mentioned in that Super Six.
And another stalemate here. No. Oh, will come and bounce again. Corey McKernan having a rest. He's just got the 2 disposals next to his name so far. Noble attack. Ricocheted off for Clark's head beautifully to Hayes, to Del Santo. There's 2 of the big 6. Del Sando just mucked around with it a bit too long, and it's a turnover. Can the Kangaroos make them pay? Wells to Stevens to Simpson. 60 out, goes high in the direction of Hale. Was being held, was he? Umpire let it go. Throw in.
Just being mauled by their desperate tackling, aren't they?
Yes. He did it well there, Kaczynski. See how he just took that one out of play? I mean, some people might say that's holding, but he retarded one arm, so the only way he could mark the ball was one-handed.
Ball in the back pocket in very heavy traffic. Slices off the side of the boot. Free kick to the Roos, 50 out.
Daniel Harris in a similar position as he was so famously a couple of weeks ago when he got the short pass off quickly to Wells, who kicked the goal to win in the match against Carlton. Just thought I'd remind you of that, Steve. Thought about it again, Wells in the same spot. This time Harris goes for it himself. To the square, McKernan's got the run and he's got the grab! The Corey of old!
It's a big mark, wasn't it?
He had a very long run-up.
Yes, and
There's been much to smile about for those Kangaroo fans.
very good move by Dean Laley, because he just replaced Mark Porter with Corey McKernan.
And through she goes. So the Kangaroos' second goal, I guess the only thing you can say about this quarter, despite the fact the Saints have dominated, that the bleeding has stopped somewhat, hasn't it, in terms of the actual scoreboard?
Yes, well, there's no doubt the Kangaroos' pressure at the moment is a lot better than it was in that first quarter, but they'd be happy to get their first on the ball of this second quarter.
So there's the scene in the Kangaroos box with Ricky Ponting, part of the Brains Trust this afternoon. Saints by 35. Andrew Murray, it seems to be all hands on deck for the Roos today.
Oh, yeah, they've got 3 runners down here, Stu. Don't worry about that. The doctor went out to Lee Brown about 2 minutes ago, who was barking instructions to the doctor. The doctor went straight back to the interchange bench, relayed the message to the runner. Runner got straight on the phone back to the coach's box, and it had nothing to do with Lee Brown being hurt, I can assure you of that.
Expensive runner. So we've got a bounce on centre wing. Give that one to Voss. Order with the Packers' pal. They're attacking the ball more now, the Kangaroos. Making it a much better contest. And they've got a loose man in Jones at half forward, who's got the footy. Now, can he use it? Handballs to Petrie. He's been off target. He has a stab, and he misses again. 4 behinds to Drew Petrie. 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the second. But they're looking a little bit better, Steve.
Yes, well, they won that clearance, and there were a couple of Kangaroo players that weren't happy with Drew Petrie going for that shot.
Gee, quick movement by the Saints. They can kill you, the Saints. Suddenly it's in the hands of Andrew Thompson at centre-half forward, but he is well astray with his kick. Boy, did they move that quick from defence into attack. Now the Kangaroos get turned on. Wells had to go there. And a fumble. Sinclair caught one high and will get the free. Advantage paid here. Possibly shouldn't have been, but as it turned out,
Still down, Sinclair.
it is to the Kangaroos' advantage. Colbert runs for it. McKernan demands it. Needs to mark. Couldn't. Got a free kick. Looked a little fortunate, but Kangaroos fans enjoying it. Yeah, let's have another look at it.
Copped a very heavy hip and shoulder on the... it's more a thigh, wasn't it?
Another free kick to the Kangaroos.
Jess Sinclair coming off. Here's another angle.
He looks awful, boys, in the hands of the trainers down there. He can't lift his head up. He seems in an awful state of affairs down here.
Play goes on, and Simpson kicks a goal. Or does he? He's missed. Another opportunity there for the Kangaroos. Really, could have been a little more accurate. Could have been a lot closer. I'm not sure if they could have been in the match.
Well, at least the Kangaroos doctor is busy now.
Yes.
You shouldn't laugh though. Let's hope Jess Sinclair's okay.
He's gone straight up the back quarters. They're taking him straight into the rooms. They're not even going to look at him on the bench. So as soon as we get some sort of report, we'll bring it to you.
So throw in on centre wing.
They're big solid thighs and upper legs, aren't they, under Brent Guerra's body.
Oh, well done by Simpson. That was a real hard attack on the football. Wells, that's the handball smothered. Powell again, great tackle by Shannon Grant. Gee, the body's flying everywhere at the moment. It's a good contest now. Simpson trying to lift his teammates. Great handball to Rawlings, who straightens up from 45. And the Kangaroos blow another opportunity.
Yes, they do, but they did. But a lot better signs there by the Kangaroo. They were a lot more desperate in the clinches. Players actually attacking the footy. And that is a lot better sign.
Runs in the family, boys.
On the bounce, trapped by Hayes. Over to Jones off the left. He's got Peckett, who's on the ground, and Thompson. Suddenly the momentum not quite there for the Saints, but a loose man. Maguire floating at half forward. This will get him going again. Goes for Gehrig, sets it up. Clark will wait down.
Oh, what a great kick.
Just kicked it in the area in front of him, didn't he, really, to allow him to run into it.
He just kicked it spot on, Hutto, and just Maguire, that's the way he's playing at the moment. Full of confidence, balanced, didn't panic, and that kick was spot on.
Fraser has kicked 1 goal, 2. And now 1 goal, 3. So the goal kicking problems have been at both ends. 14 scoring shots to 11 overall. And the margin you can see there, 33 points.
And interesting, these two teams are second and third on scoring accuracy this year. They've blotted their copybook so far today. Wells. Clever kick to the wing. Out into space. Harris, quick handball to Motlop. To the 50. Backing back with courage as Jones. Now is that 50? Umpire McBurney says no. As Petrie comes in to remonstrate. Corey Jones with courage stood his ground.
Line ball on that, wasn't it?
It was a little bit late, wasn't it? But it certainly wasn't malicious or anything.
Important kick, this one, for the Kangaroos.
Only got 2 for the afternoon. 2 goals, 9.
Well, he kicked 1 of them, so that's the good news. And he's been a lot more accurate this year than he has in previous seasons.
Well, Corey Jones taking plenty of time. It is a big kick. They've fought their way back into the contest. Now they're going to make it count on the scoreboard. And that wasn't even close. 2 goals, 10 to the Roos. Plays 8 goals, 6. 32-point buffer to St Kilda. There's Jess Sinclair. Seems to have recovered his composure somewhat.
It's 1 goal each for the quarter here. Harvey's away now after being paid the mark. They have this ability to create the loose man through the middle, and then they just link. Kazitsky. Gehrig leads one way, goes more centrally. Hamill was the target. Revolt through the middle of it. Over the top. Rawlings jumped on it. Umpire says that's okay, I'll bounce.
Real good sign by the St Kilda forward line there. They're hell-bent in holding the ball inside their forward 50. A real good sign of a good team.
So the tackling, which has been a feature of their game today. Both ends of the ground. Gehrig's back in the goal square here, away to the left of screen. Shannon Watt watching him. The rest of the players all around the contest. Well done by Brown. Colbert couldn't find any space to get the clearing kick. Goes again by hand, more successful. Grant as they branch out. McKernan Again, he presented, but the fist was successful from Kazitsky. And Hayes buffeting off, got the handball, set Goddard up. Had to go again, Goddard. Play on was the call. Back it goes to Lenny Hayes. A couple of bounces to full forward. Milne the only target. And Hale found the height difference was to his liking.
And his kick finds Mop. Kicks to the wing to Jones. Has to wait for it.
Things just dropped off a bit from the Saints there. The last 6 clangers have been St Kilda's.
Oh, yeah, I just feel that the Kangaroos are putting a lot more pressure on their opposition, something they didn't do in that first quarter.
Bursting through the pack was Grimmer. Back inside 50 go the Roos. Maguire flew. Staying down was McKernan, who snapped. It's still in play, and Jones will concede the behind. Back to Andrew Marr.
Oh, it's a remarkable turnaround with Jess Sinclair. He looked sick as a dog when he came off the ground. They took him straight up the tunnel. Looked like he was going to the rooms. 5 minutes later, he's reappeared, and he actually looks pretty fresh in the face right now.
2 goals, 11. It is a stunning scoreline for the Kangaroos at the moment. Into Hayes, who's again racking them up. 16th possession coming up for Lenny Hayes. His opposite number, Adam Simpson's, had 14. Peckett spent plenty of time on the bench. His first possession, a pretty scrappy one, and again the Saints turn it over. Hale for Rito. Kangaroos trying to create some run. David King's got to be a contest here, and he not only got in the contest, he somehow took the mark, although I'm not sure whether he should have or not. He centres it to Wells, who takes the mark, and surely the ball's in good hands here.
Oh, let's hope so, but a lot better signs. We just saw the chase down by the Kangaroo player. I'm not too sure it was there that caused the turnover, but unable for Rito to get the ball up. And there have been little signs in this quarter that are starting to kick the Kangaroos back into the game.
So here's Wells. Kangaroos desperately need a straight kick. And just like he did against Carlton when the moment arrived, his boot was short. Let's see the mark, whether it was or not.
Yeah, I would have paid that.
Judge for yourself. This was the mark that led to the goal. Should it have been paid? Probably.
Well, the Roos back in it. It's a 25-point ball game now. The Saints led by 41 points in this quarter. Harvey.
Yeah, some better signs there for the Kangaroos. They're tackling a lot harder. If they can get a late goal in this quarter, I think Dean Laidley will be fairly happy with his team's second quarter effort.
Clearances this quarters 11-5 in favour of the Kangaroos, so that really has evened things up.
Yeah, stats can often not be an accurate reflection, but they are in this game so far, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly. Centre breaks overall. You saw they're 7-4 in favour of the Saints.
Del Santo, great handball again in heavy traffic to Black, who bangs it long. Gehrig and Watt. Well played by Watt. Harvey to Rawlings. The kick, it's a bit dodgy. Petrie did well to stand his ground. Good follow-up play by Rawlings. Sweeps the handball to Stevens. Can the Kangaroos pinch run before half-time? Stevens goes long to Simpson, who's waiting patiently at half-forward. Takes the mark, will play on. Goes long and wide. Mottler. 55 out from goal. Goes short, he got a couple of options. And that is good, strong, hard running from Brady Rawlings. He was down in the back pocket not long ago, and now he's going to have a shot at goal.
Yes, the Kangaroos have taken this ball from their back pocket all the way up. Very important kick for goal, this one for the Kangaroos going into half-time.
You reckon he's been getting kicking lessons from his brother during the week?
We hope not. So Brady Rawlings doesn't look overly confident, does he? But now he's going to have a shot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got the word there. There are only a few seconds left before half-time.
Well, this is a big, big kick. The Roos are 25 points down. This can make it 19. It's an ugly-looking kick. Very ugly. And just a point to Brady Rawlings. So at half-time here at Telstra Dome, we have a ball game. The Kangaroos are back in the hunt.
Welcome back to Telstra Dome, and it is a 19-man team that the Kangaroos bring back out. 21-man team, I should say. Jess Sinclair has not returned from the rooms at half-time. They trail by 24 points and they are down a man. We saw the clash of heads with Brent Guerra, the clip across the top of Jess Sinclair. It's not the first one that he has sustained in his career. He's had many, many heavy blows. He did look extremely sick when he came off the ground and has not returned from the room. So the Kangaroos down a man to begin the third quarter.
Well, he's fixed a few up, Brent Guerra. Not suggesting that was anything. No. That was just a completely fair old-fashioned bump. But he's got a good list. He's chalking up. Let's hope Jess Sinclair's okay. Only 4 goals in it now, which is nothing in the modern game. Good fight back by the Roos. They trailed by 41 in the second quarter. They got it back to 24 at the main break. Saints into attack first in the third term. Brown just with the one hand. Now Watt. Handball from Baird. Half forward now, and it ends up in the hands of Jones. Good kick to Simpson, who's found some space, just can't hang on to the mark. Jones for the Saints. Gave it straight up to Petrie. To the forward pocket. Sainsbury's there. Here's Harris. Kick around the body, he's a good one. And the mark's taken by Hale, who he's gone into the ball. What were you doing, David Hale? Chance of a lifetime, and now you've blown it. They might still get a goal. Shannon Grant should mop up, and he does. Oh, David Hale.
Well,
you gave him a rap.
Don't just blame David Hale, because Brent Harvey was demanding the ball, and as a senior player, I'm sure that sauce made Hale think, oh, I better pass it to him.
No doubt about it.
But when you're 25 out directly in front,
you should go back and have a shot.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But fortunately for the Kangaroos, they were able to clean it up, and Grant slotted it through.
You would have done that in your long career.
Oh, yes, yeah. Played a lot of games between us, you, me and Sauce,
That's right.
Anyway, more importantly, the all-important, crucial first goal of the third term goes to the Saints, to the Kangaroos, and the Saints now lead by just 3 straight kicks.
Here comes St Kilda, though, trying to regroup through the middle. Del Santo. Back to Hayes, to half forward, into the space. Revolt comes out. Kangaroos definitely starting to get numbers to the ball. Rawlings went for the line. He didn't need to, actually, because Kangaroos actually had plenty of support there for him, but he wasn't to know. 4-12, plays 8-6. So for the Telstra Dome, it's a very low-scoring game. Obviously, a lot of misses today, which hasn't helped. Noble with the tap down, Del Santo. Rawlings close by. Looks like Dipper's lining up on the Kangaroos bench there. Do anything to get in shot. Ball! Found a path and found Peckett. Eyes in the side of his head for Powell. Revolt. Aussie Jones. He trusts his left boots. He trusts it. In fact, it's black. No wonder he trusts it. He's a left footer.
Well, they were good at that last week, Steve. The Saints, when they're under pressure from Adelaide, they always managed to respond. with a goal almost immediately, and they've answered the challenge there.
Well, they did, and we just see Daniel Wells probably should have done a little bit better there, allowing Nick Riewoldt to collect that ball, but a great response by the Saints.
So the Saints answer the challenge straight away. It's back to 24 points. And Noble, easy tap to ball, who got it to Harvey. Will that fire up the Saints? Colbert gets there first. Good pressure from Stephen Milne.
Pressure.
Won the ball. To Hamill, lost it. Colbert there to mop up for the Kangaroos. Runs into trouble, just managed to unload to Grant, who kicked the last goal for the Kangaroos. To half forward, Hayes cuts off Simpson. Two skippers having great games. Hayes has got 18 disposals, Simpson 15. Peckett. Onto the right boot, goes long. Garrigg's got, I was going to say, had to beat three of them. Play on, says the umpire. Must have been touched. Harris, his kick's good. Gee, why wasn't that a mark? It finds Harvey.
I think he was just saying that the Kangaroos defender got hands to it here at the moment. Brown, who flew in front.
Gee, it looked a clean mark right in the middle of three Kangaroos. So a lucky break for the Kangaroos as Harvey at half-back goes short to Stevens. I'd love to have another look at that one when we got some time.
Baird only just had some time to get it to half forward, but he needed more, obviously, because he's kicked straight to Noble. Powell and Petrie, Black, kept it in, darts away. Hamill this time. Interference. Oh, free kick goes against Lee Colbert. And he might give away 50 here if he's not careful. He's telling the umpire to have a look on the board.
Let's have a look at it.
Well,
you couldn't 50-50, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some holding there, but this is a touched. Whether it was touched off the boot, certainly wasn't touched in that.
That's a clear mark.
It is, and that's a clear goal. So I guess in the end it evens itself out. But Lee Colbert certainly not happy.
Let's have a look at it. Lee Colbert really didn't have eyes for the ball. And as most defenders do when they're in that position, tried to get some body contact, which he tried to do, but was pinged for holding the man.
What's your decision? Colbert against Hamill. Hamill got the free and kicked the goal. Saints lead by 30. St Kilda have the first three clearances of the third term, make it 4. As Harvey gets it to Hayes, who drills it long inside 50. Dropping the mark was Brown. There's Gehrig, he's got Milne in support. Milne wheels onto the right boot, snaps around the body, hits the woodwork. Well, the Saints have found their spark again.
Well, they have. They're winning it out of the middle once again. Noble getting his hands to the ball. Centre square bounces.
Bit of a lack of cohesion down there too amongst the Kangaroos' defence. They're under fire. Saints are generating it from all the contested areas. Harris doing his best to address the situation, losing his pants in the heat of battle off Ferrito. Put his head down and the umpire says play on now. He's going to ping him.
Correct decision there. Ferrito ducks his head. And that happens far too often in AFL footy.
Lays it off. Ball's kicked low. Hamill couldn't handle it. King handles it and goes straight for the boundary line. Will it be pinned?
Oh, he's pinned him. Oh.
That would just about be a world record. That'd be even longer than Sam Mitchell's kick last year. Just about. It was all of 35, 40 metres. Here's Maguire. Had to use his left for Rewald. Just got under the ball. Brown's done that successfully a few times since he's moved on to him, but Milne cleaned it up. Gives Maguire another chance. Goddard's got free, but he has to get over Hale's head. He can't. And the Roos can go if they get a lucky bounce here. Harris, he attacked the ball, well played, and he's hurt himself. Saints win out. Black generating it forward again. Goddard, ball, got Kaczynski out of the corner of his eye, but he leaves it for Rewald. Let's have a look at that contentious, deliberate decision again. David King.
Gee, it's gone close to 50 metres, wouldn't it?
Well, I just can't. As a player, I just don't know what you're supposed to do in that situation.
One of the key components was that there was no teammates there that he was kicking to, and he allegedly wasn't under pressure. Anyway, Rewald's kick is away to the right and through from behind.
You have to feel for the Kangaroo defenders at the moment. David King is one of them. Just the inside 50s. 10-1 this quarter in favour of the Kangaroos.
That supporter ready to go out there and do battle, I think.
So that's in favour of the Saints, I should say. You wonder why David King's going for the boundary line.
Great mark by Luke Ball, and he will go back from 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Number 2 pick in the 2001 draft. There he is, all decked out in the Kangaroos skin, just making sure everything's in place. As is Luke Ball as he lines up for goal. 45 out. It's a good-looking kick. It's home. Well, the Saints are going bang, bang, just as they were throwing the challenge, and they've responded brilliantly. Excellent mark from Luke Ball.
Not a bad player, Luke Ball. Slots that one through, and that was his 7th possession for the quarter.
And the Saints midfield, the Super Six we talked about earlier, getting right on top in this second half. Some of the Kangaroos prime movers like Simpson have gone a little quiet. And the St Kilda defence continuing to rebound. David King able to mark, looking for a few to break away. He had Harris in short, but he goes longer. Not sure it's a great option. Harvey went to ground. McKernan, Wells. Doesn't get it that often, but when he gets it, he usually gets some excitement going. Mill, and it's not over yet. Wells goes in and wins it. Sainsbury, deep to full forward. Motlop lurking, but he misjudged his flight. Hale handball, he probably should have kicked. Petrie tries to find a way. Again, this Saints defence, not only standing firm, but running into the space. Over to Hayes. He surges along the wing. Can keep going. Has a couple. Lenny Hayes to full forward. Rewald going back. Oh, but outmarked by Baird.
Exciting build-up from St Kilda. Just couldn't quite finish off as Rewald had to beat 2 Kangaroos. Well, they got it to within 18 points early in the third term. And St Kilda have taken control once again, as good sides do. Wells has the ball on centre wing. Looks for Motlop. He's spoiled by Voss.
Well, he did well there, Voss. Motlop wasn't his direct opponent, but he saw that he was free. He lifted his man to get over there and fist that ball over the boundary line.
Roos make a change as Porter comes on for Hale. Leading possession getters in the game. Hayes has got 20, Black 16, Powell and Ball 14 each for Saints, while for the Kangaroos 16 to Simpson, 13 to Grant, and the only other man in double figures is Harvey with 10. Harris To Grant. Shrugs off the Peckett tackle. Gets to Simpson. Inside 50. Oh! That flew high. Not quite. He's got it now. Dishes the handball to Wells. To Grant, who should finish off. But he missed.
Story of the day.
Gee, it was a fair leap from Daniel Motlop. Did everything right, didn't he? Just couldn't hang on to it.
Well, we certainly had takeoff.
Voss just pulled up in time to not go over the line into ball. So the Kangaroos manning up here. Fisher will be the target on the switch. No, he decides to go by hand instead to Black. And sort it out through the middle. Goddard, they always had the extra man there. Bit of extra running provided by Ball on the way out. Cook disposal though. And Porter puts his ample frame in the way. Gives to Rawlings, who's been running with Del Santo today. Up to full forward. Petrie was the target. Too much on it for him. And once again, Brett Voss showing superior judgment. I wonder if he'll get a chance on his brother again next week. You'd suspect so after last year. Noble. Oh, was he off? No. Revolt the target in front again. Hayes, who just continues to track the football. 22 possessions now. It would have been nice if he had taken that. There's Grimmer, ground level, trying to get it out. Harvey, now Black. Petrie was coming at him, but as always, there was options. Maguire loves a good talk. Not sure if that was a good one or not, but it was certainly a talk. Grant through the middle to King. Had a couple of options, goes for Jones, and Petrie crashed the pack. But again, couldn't bring it down, and Voss mops up. Got targets on the wing. Guerra. Peckett's inside for him. Good tackling by Wells. And eventually it's a Kangaroo ball at half-back. David King trying to give him some rebound. With his renowned running and bouncing. Corey Jones had to go early because the Saints had the height and the strength. And Maguire takes the mark.
Just can't find a target across that half-forward line. The last 3 times they've tried to go in, they haven't found one of their half-forwards.
No one on the mark, so Black can just stroll off. And he pumps it long. Looks for Hamill, once again wrestling with Colbert. Front and centre was Harvey. To Del Santo, who ran into a wall of Kangaroos. Lucky not to give away a free kick there, Del Santo. Colbert got it to Rawlings. Back into the middle. McKernan, good tackle, Peckett. Fisher got it to Ball. To Kaczynski. Now out wide to Rewalt. Well spoiled by Brown, who's done a pretty reasonable job on Nick Rewalt. Handball finds Shannon Grant. Back to Colbert. They're hemmed in here, the Roos defenders. King just gets rid of the ball before he's tackled. Brown to the wing, and he finds McKernan, who takes the diving mark.
Labour-intensive build-up by the Kangaroos. McKernan got nothing, so he has to bring it inboard.
Well, it's been this next kick forward is where they've fallen down.
King trying to run through the lines and then get it in a bit deeper. Harvey comes bouncing out. And then Boomer, Harvey, takes a very good grab, belying his height.
Takes a little bloke to take the pack mark, Hutto, and it was a pretty good one at that.
All power to him. Good, strong, contested mark. And Brent Harvey, 28 goals last year, 7 so far this season. Slots another one, and it was one that Kangaroos certainly needed. So they've got a couple for the quarter. And I guess they theoretically stay in touch.
.31 points in front, St Kilda. Kangaroos stay in touch, but only just. Robert Harvey shows a great turn of speed. How's that for class? Delivered on a plate to Nick Riewoldt. And Harvey, well, we're talking about class, hard running. He was off there, Harvey. He was off. Well, that's a bad mistake from the veteran. Did all the hard work and coughed it up. Sainsbury. Funny old kick, but it comes off as it's marked by Shannon Grant at half-back.
Who switches looking for the captain, but he gives it plenty of air. So his opposite number, Hayes, who's played a wonderful quarter particularly, but also an excellent match, comes in and eventually earns the possession. Had targets galore, goes for Garrick! The mighty arms of Fraser or Goliath. Garrick.
Well, certainly caught one there high. Robert Harvey was called to play on, but was involved in the passage of play.
It was as he was coming off the ground.
Yes, as he was coming off the ground, he made the tackle. The ball spilled out to Lenny Hayes, who kicked the ball to Fraser Garrick. Now lining up for this shot.
This is the easy part, surely. Yes, straight through the middle.
And it's this tackle here by Robert Harvey, right there, that caused it. Lenny Hayes on it. And what a great kick to Fraser Garrick. And not a bad mark at that.
He wouldn't mind marking against Eddie Sainsbury for a living.
Still got to catch him.
Bit of height difference.
St Kilda by 37. Garrick's got 2 for the afternoon. Stevens run down. Again, Saints with all the numbers around the ball. This is ball to Kazitsky. To Black. Now, is that intentional? No, can't be. It's still in play. Hamill propped. Simpson under pressure, got held, pushed, you name it. Free kick. Harvey, back to Simpson. Back to Harvey. Trying to create something here. Back to Simpson, they're waxing. Could be dangerous stuff. Don't muck around with it for too long. King eventually went out wide to Sainsbury. Got plenty of room to move. Slipped over at the crucial moment. Has time to recover and goes short to Rawlings, who will line up 45-degree angle, about 48 metres out from goal. Two behind so far this afternoon to Brady Rawlings.
Had the shot just before half-time, if you remember.
Yep.
Quarters.
You'd suspect the Roos will need a couple of quickies before three-quarter time of that. Can have a chance in this game. Well, here's an opportunity. Brady Rawlings. Kicked 2 goals so far this season in his 4 games. Not a bad-looking kick. It's home. So a beautiful set shot at goal from Brady Rawlings. They worked hard there, the Roos. They finally were rewarded with a shot at goal. But they can just pinch another one before three-quarter time, Sauce. They've still got a sniff.
Well, they are. They're only 31 points down, and if they can get that within 25 points, well, it's in range, and pretty critical goal that from Rawlings. And there is a happy Kangaroos fan. Hello.
So, 31 points. It's their 3rd goal of the quarter. Maybe there's still some hope for the Kangaroos after the onslaught from the Saints. They do need another one before the last break, that's for sure. They're going in hard. And Grimmer did well to pluck it out. Find Grant and now Colbert. Harvey running. Black in hot pursuit. And Harvey could not get clear. Simpson goes into lend a hand. Somehow he gets it out to Harvey. They are waxing those two.
Well, he's been under pressure all day, Harvey.
Let's have a look after this last goal. Rawlings going for the high five and smack. It's a dangerous business, that old high five. No one's been able to really do it that well. I think the West Indians were always the best at it, weren't they, Quarters? From the wing. Simpson takes the mark.
Does that go as a clanger?
I'm not sure.
Rawlings. Oh, sold the dummy beautifully. Runs to 50. Gives it to Jones. Trying to improve the angle. Run down. Peckett. Umpire's given a free kick to the Saints. Jones just tried to improve the angle for himself.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why Jones actually called for the ball. Rawlings was going towards goal and really should have been allowed to have the shot.
So it's St Kilda by 31. Another one or even two for the Kangas before the break. Puts them right back in it. Black down the middle. Stevens, spectacular, but couldn't hang on to it. Aussie Jones is there. Clark also for St Kilda will have a bounce, 50 out. As Noble comes back on for St Kilda, Schwartz has a break. Porter. Oh, we've got a stalemate here. Hayes up to 23 possessions for the Saints. Black 21 for the Kangas, 23 to Simpson and 19 to Shannon Grant. Saints got it at half forward. Grant to Stevens. Kangaroos go inside 50. McKernan got the free for a hold. And Corey McKernan is within range. He'll be lining up from about 48 metres, slight angle. And this, if he can convert, Steve, will make it interesting.
Yes, and this is the late goal they've been looking for. If he converts, Corey McKernan in front. Kaczynski just losing contact of Corey. And the umpire was there to award that free kick.
Well, he's got one today. He's got 5 for the season. He's got 298 in his career. Corey McKernan.
Needs to slot this one, Quarters.
So in he comes. It's a good-looking kick. It's just fading, but it's home. Big goal for the Kangas. Well, they're hanging in there. It's back to 25 points of difference.
Yes, and always nice to go in at quarter time or three-quarter time with a late goal, particularly when you've been struggling for most of the game. But this centre square bounce now is so important that the Kangaroos don't allow St Kilda to take it away.
So the Kangaroos need to at least hold on here, preferably, obviously, score again before the main break, but they're within range at 25 points. They've got an inexperienced midfield there with Grimmer and Jones inside the square, but it's been some of their more experienced players that have lifted in the last 5 minutes, Sauce. So Simpson, Grant, Harvey, David King, as we see Aussie Jones along the boundary line. It's Fisher plucking it out.
Gee, Black's had a big quarter, hasn't he?
He has. And he's been running with Harvey. He's also started to find it. This is Hayes. To half forward to Milne. He was off. That doesn't mean you can catch him. Watt playing in front of Gehrig. On the rebound, Fraser gets a chance to use his pace and his skill. And his mobility. And his eyesight. And he plucks out Andrew Thompson. And this would be a steady goal.
What about the strength of Fraser Gehrig there? Just watch him just pull pushes direct opponent off here. Just holds him off. There you go. I'll kick it out there.
Andrew Thompson makes great contact and makes sure that the Saints remain in control as we head to the final break. And that smother from Nick Riewoldt there certainly kept it alive for Fraser to do his thing.
Yeah, it's great smother, but really a poor kick by Shannon White. They just needed to hold onto that ball and turned it over. St Kilda kicking that last goal.
St Kilda by 31 deep into the third term. Very deep, in fact. Just 10 seconds remaining. Hayes got the free. Possession number 25 to Black, who's up to 23. So at three-quarter time here at Telstra Dome, just once again when the Kangaroos looked threatening, St Kilda responded. And in fact, they won that quarter. The Saints are led by 24 points at halftime. And at three-quarter time, the margin is 31 points. 13-8-86 plays 7-13-55. And the Saints seemingly on their way to keep their unbeaten record intact. Stephen Milne helped set it up early with a couple. But at the final break, is 31 points in shot.
Ball found a path and found Pickett. Eyes in the side of his head for Powell. Riewoldt. Aussie Jones. He trusts his left boots. He trusts it. In fact, it's Black. No wonder he trusts it. He's a left footer.
And the Saints continue to answer all challenges. The margin at three-quarter time is 31 points. Hayes 25 disposals. Black, who had 13 in the third term, is up to 23. Ball also had 11 for St Kilda that term. And for the Kangas, Simpson 23, Grant 20. But it's hard to see Stephen Silvani, the Kangaroos, getting up from here as we have a look at the fresh legs.
Yes, and plenty of legs there. Schwartz, Clark and Thompson all started the game on the bench, and Peckett and Noble's been a really good contributor in the ruck. And for the Kangaroos, Grimmer hasn't played much time. Porter and Ferrito and Bear are probably the three they need to get more out of, particularly that they can mark the ball, and they've struggled to do that today.
Do you give them any hopes, Ross?
Well, their second and third quarters have been very competitive, the Kangaroos. So if they convert, and that's been one of the facets they've fallen down on, they will give themselves every chance.
Andrew Marr, anything for us?
Only Jess Sinclair is asleep in the room, so the good news is that he hasn't required hospital treatment. He's just having a little snooze underneath the building, and hopefully the news will be good when they get back in afterwards for him.
So we start the final term. The Saints led by 35 at quarter time, by 24 at half time, and the margin at the start of the last term is 31 points, headed for their 5th straight victory. And we're already beginning to salivate next week when St Kilda hosts Brisbane here at Telstra Dome.
It's going to be some match, isn't it?
Saturday night.
Fever.
And the Lions, of course, have got the Hawks tonight. You'd think that would be a reasonably comfortable win for them. Into attack goes St Kilda, and Brendan Goddard will have a set shot at goal from a slight angle 45 out.
And once again, the St Kilda midfield were able to take that away from the clearance, but an underrated player is Trent Noble. His hit-outs today have been absolutely outstanding.
Brendan Goddard.
Interesting to look at the progress of Goddard and Wells, isn't it? The top 2 picks from the draft a couple of years ago.
Yep, taken #1 in 2002. Hasn't kicked a goal this season. Got 6 in his 23-game career so far. Nothing wrong with that kick.
Who would you say is ahead at the moment between those two, Sauce? Goddard and Wells on their development. I mean, they're pretty hard to call.
It is a tough one to call. They're both probably players this year have sort of tapered off a little bit. They both had outstanding years last year, but just struggling to find their way in their second year of footy, which does often happen.
Things will be a little more comfortable in that box after the opening goal. Extends the Saints lead out to 37. Noble to Thompson. Harvey. Oh, chopped off beautifully by Harris. And Shannon Grant, usually pretty deadly on the left, made the goal umpire work. And what a miss. Gee, it would have been...
Still recovering from that whack in the face.
Probably. It would have been a nice boost to the conference. They'd have been able to answer straight away, Steve.
Great crowd, Hutto. 38,896.
They're all jumping on, aren't they, the Saints fans? And who can blame them?
It's a great crowd.
Kangaroos today have kicked 1 goal, 8 on the run.
In the back pocket. Saints work it out nicely. Black, who, as we said, had 13 touches in the third term. And kicked a nice goal. Looks for Hamill, sandwich between two Roos. Colbert to Simpson. Possession number 24. Looks for Motlop, who worked his way to the front. Thompson against Harris. Voss. Well played, Harris. Didn't have much support, though, but St Kilda did. Powell. Hayes. Harvey. Not a bad combination, that one. On the left to half forward. Rewald and Goddard together. Rewald got bowled over by Brown. Powell, quick hands to Guerra. Oh, here's a go. One out. Watt and Gehrig. Gehrig in front. Surely a free kick. No. He's a bit stiff there. Fraser might have got dragged down. Oh. Big tackle by Guerra. Rawlings.
In the back.
Umpire's paid in the back. And Baird will chip into the other back pocket and finds David King.
Who carries it and then goes searching for Sainsbury on the wing, but Harvey was playing in front. Shannon Grant waiting till he had some run from Jones, who delivers on a plate for McKernan, who is within range. Hale working hard off the ball to try and provide a lead, but McKernan seems intent on having a shot. Kick 2 straight for the day. Let's get down to Andrew Marr regarding Drew Petrie.
That is the face of a very unhappy man, Hutto. 4 minutes into the quarter, Dean Laidley obviously saw something he didn't like. Petrie came off and was not happy.
Mixed week for Drew Petrie. New contract. Gets dragged. He's kicked 4 behinds for the afternoon. Hamill.
Oh, well done.
To Aussie Jones. He's got options galore, Aussie. He decides to go to the 50 and into the pocket and finds Gehrig, but he couldn't hang on to it. Well played, Watt, who's done a pretty good job on him this afternoon.
Good kick.
Baird, great vision. Look at this.
Grant and Simpson.
3 Roos all along the wing, all 3. Harris goes the long option to Simpson. He can pop it over the top to Grant. He does so now. Now, Grant's missed a couple of goals on the run today. He takes it to 45, and it's coming back. It's hit the post. 1 goal, 3 to Shannon Grant. That's 1 goal, 9 on the run to the Roos today.
Yeah, we just saw on the rebound there, quarters, that there was Grant, Simpson, and who was the other one? Harris.
Yep.
Not sure that was a great thing, because the ball was actually going into the St Kilda back half. What were they doing while it was in there?
Makes you wonder. Here's some free Saints through the middle. Jones. It's getting back to the Telstra Dome basketball we've become accustomed to. The ball going at frightening pace from one end to the other. Held up in its tracks this time.
I should have said St Kilda forward half.
92-58. Gone about 6 minutes in this last quarter, so the Kangaroos need to find the middle and quickly. Hale over the top, Motlop. Harvey got a little shove from Hale. Brown just couldn't give it to King as he would have liked. Well played, David King. Bold as ever through the middle. It's going to come back, is it? Downfield handball. Free kick taken by Hale. Out to Sainsbury, so they've got the loose man here. Motlop's lead, but Sainsbury could take it and just loop it over to centre-half forward. Again, breakdown in communication from the Kangaroos. McKernan almost hit the roof into the square. You'd back Motlop from there. Well done, Daniel Motlop. He is a player of extraordinary talent, and let's hope we see the best of it over the years.
Yeah, he's just used his body well.
To cut the margin to under 5 goals again, Daniel Motlop for the Roos. Not your normal pass to a full forward, Sauce.
No, but effective.
St Kilda by 28 points early in the piece in this final term. Still a remote sniff for the Roos if they can string a couple together. But decisions like that won't help. Not that it was an incorrect one, just that they've lost their momentum. Black again. He's had a great afternoon. This is number 28 for him. And he finds Fisher. Lee Fisher back inside 50. Kicks into a gathering of Kangaroos. One of them was Simpson, and he finds Sainsbury. And the mark's taken by Ferrito.
Been quiet this afternoon, hasn't he, Ferrito? Was removed from his defensive role early in the game.
Spent a bit of time on the bench.
Simpson goes long. McKernan flies. Grimmer lost it. Now ball. Gee, for a young player, a great head on his shoulders. Only 19, Luke Ball.
He's going to be a star.
He's a little beauty. He's got 19 this afternoon. Rewalt, speaking of beauties, still a young man in football terms. Won the ball. Gives it to Harvey, who goes back by hand to Hamill. And ball once again for number 20. There's a box on behind play. Hamill doesn't want a part of it. He's going to beat 3 Kangaroos. Powell in the meantime squares it up. The G-train in front. Couldn't mark what? King. King did it nicely. In fact, he's played pretty well in defence, but there's a free kick coming back in the middle from that little box on, and it's going against Aaron Hamill.
It's a pity because David King did some great work down there and deserved the credit for it. But anyway, the Kangaroos can run now. Pushing forward, this is Wells. Got 2 players coming out to lead. Hale almost involuntarily had to go for the ball as Noble came across, cutting off the McKernan lead. Heath Black, the #1 possession winner on the ground with 28 possessions. Then Simpson with 27 for the Kangaroos and Hayes 26 for the Saints. Ball. Again, had his shorts pulled down. Was that a free kick? It was. St Kilda free to go to Goddard. Trying to keep it open for some one-on-one contests. Revolt did well in front, but again, Brown got some support when it mattered. Rawlings, Harris, Brown, Colbert, half back to the wing. Oh, Luke Ball shows you can do it in the air as well as on the ground. Into the middle. He's played some sort of game, Heath Black, to full forward. What's in front? But at the back, Gary gave him the nudge. It was gentle, said the umpire. It was okay by me. And Gary can have a shot for goal.
Oh, just a matter of time, really. He's had 3 or 4 opportunities this quarter to mark the ball, Fraser Garrick. But just nudged his opponent under the ball and ended up taking an easy mark.
5 marks, 2 goals, 3. So a relatively quiet day at the office for Fraser Garrick. But he's got 3, and the Saints are marching in again.
story for Heath Black. He was on the aeroplane on his way back home to Fremantle.
Facts just didn't come through in time.
Yeah, he's got just about a BAG. Seems a lost cause now for the Kangaroos. They trail by 34 points, nearing the halfway mark of the final term. Black again, number 30. Oh, and this kid continues to impress Luke Ball. This is number 23 for him as he kicks towards Garrick, who worked his way to the front, couldn't take the mark. Hamill throws his weight around, did it beautifully, got plenty of support. One of them is Goddard on the right boot, just lost his balance as he kicked. Colbert, desperate as always, to Jones. Now Wells shows a great turn of speed. Takes the ball to the wing and drills it long. Motlop wrestles with Peckett. Desperate stuff from Lee Fisher.
Free kick.
It's a free kick going St Kilda's way. And Fisher is rewarded. Man who turned 20 on Monday. Lee Fisher played a reasonable game this afternoon. As Lenny Hayes takes the mark at half-back. 27 disposals for him.
Peckett up to the wing. Voss in front. Drew Petrie back on the ground. Voss goes to Rewald and Brown. This battle continues. Been a fascinating one. Simpson hits the turf. Sainsbury's been impressive. King out wide to Simpson, right along the line. Just had to hit and hope. There wasn't much on. And the numbers winning out again. Fisher, Hamill in trouble. There's a free kick off the ball.
Yeah, Petrie knocked over Fisher.
And it's going to come back to Aaron Hamill.
It has been a good duel, that Nick Rewald and Lee Brown duel.
It's been great to watch, hasn't it?
Brown's done a really good job, considering the amount of ball that's gone into that forward half for the Saints.
Rewald's ended up with 7 marks and 1 goal too, and he certainly was dominating in the opening quarter. Kicked his only goal in that first quarter when Baird was his opponent.
Well, it's below his season's average so far.
Free kick going against David King for in the back.
You can't. Why would that be?
Well, over the years, hasn't it been that if you give him a shove with your legs or your knees and you take the mark, it's okay. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's a mark.
Guerra sets it up again, looking for Garrigus. Oh, I thought he had it that time. Del Santo. That's some pretty brutal treatment. Kangaroos conceding a behind in the end. Oh, it's on now in the square. Garrick's going to give away a free here. Or is he? No, he's going to get one against Corey Jones. And Baird. Stuart Wynn gifting this goal to Fraser Garrick. We'll wait on the replay to see if there's anything in it or not, but it doesn't get any easier than that. See what we can see. He's got him around the neck there.
Oh, well, that's just a case of that is pedantic over-officiating as we go now to Andrew Marr.
Thanks very much, Hutto. Paul, you've been seeing the Saints for all your life. You've done some hard yards, no doubt. What's it like to see them now?
I tell you what, we are on the most exciting Caswell wave, I tell you. Just the way the whole club's being run now, it's been done properly. There's real confidence with everybody. They've just got their feet on the ground. They just know what to do.
And next Saturday night?
No, I'm actually staying here. I'm not going home. I just hope no security guards find me, but I want to stay here just so I can get front row seat once again.
Back to you, boys.
It'll be suspected to be an all-ticket affair next Saturday night.
Here they go again, the Saints out of the middle. Powell and Jones and Black. 31 possessions this will be, the most he's ever had for St Kilda. 32 is his career best, and it was a well-placed kick for Hamill. Garrick wants it again, but he went shorter and well judged by Brown. to chop it off and go for the boundary line. All he wants now is for them to ping him for deliberate.
Still shaking his head, Sauce, on that free kick to Fraser, Gary.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I just can't. I mean, I'm not too sure he was holding around the goalpost. There was certainly a high tackle there around the goalpost, and then he caught a little bit of a nudge in the stomach, and it's a free kick.
Here's Black again. Lenny Hayes lands it at full forward, and once again Lee Brown outpoints Rewald.
Been a positive that for the Kangaroos, Lee Brown's game today.
He's taken just the 3 marks, but 12 possessions, and he certainly held off Rewald on numerous occasions. Simpson the target here, over everyone's head. Troy Swartz comes through. Kept his head too, through the middle, a little dish is all right. Aussie Jones puts it on the chest of Hamill, and he can line up.
Well, they look good, the Saints. When they run through the middle of the ground, you just know they're going to hit a target. They've got so many options up forward. And on that occasion, they were able to find Aaron Hamill.
Nick Rewald being dragged. That's a bit harsh saying he's dragged.
I think he's got a big game ahead of him next week.
He was terrific in the opening term. Hamill's been a great leader all day. Another one goes on for the Saints.
Plenty of icing on the St Kilda cake now. As good sides do, they go on with the business. And St Kilda leads by 47. Like they did last week against Adelaide, they've answered every challenge this afternoon. And I know we've mentioned it a couple of times, but it's very tantalising as we look ahead to next week. St Kilda versus Brisbane. Rewald, I guess it'll be Lepic Rewald, won't it? All things being equal, if Justin Lepic is fit.
Yes, that'll be it.
Mel Michael and Fraser Gehrig, how about that one for a matchup?
Of course,
WWF.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fair bit of body strength there.
Of course, Brisbane have still got to get over the Hawks tonight.
They do, yes.
This will be the Saints' seventh consecutive win at the Telstra Dome. This is Grimmer, who takes the mark for the Kangaroos. Pretty much just junk time now. Told to go straight in the McKernan direction. Free kick goes to McKernan. Some of the commentators in the box still upset over that decision from before. Quarters? Not that one. No comment. Corey McKernan. Oh, that is a very ordinary kick. So how do we rate the Kangaroos, do you think, Sauce?
Well, I think they're going to be a team that will either just make the 8s or just may miss the 8. Certainly they've got some improvement today. I just think that really St Kilda have just got too many guns. And a lot of them are their youngsters, but also their more experienced players are probably playing their best football as well.
Petrie did well to provide a contest there. Was limited by the lack of small men at his feet. And the Saints again, Maguire, well tackled by Wells. Highly skilled youngster, Jones. They find a way so often, don't they? When you'd think most teams would defend and take it over the line. The Saints back themselves to win the contest.
Numbers.
With numbers, sure hands, long kicks. Down to their big man and full forward. And Big Fraser provides some more entertainment for this growing Saints army, who are loving every single second of this.
Well,
Having had that incident before.
Well, that should have been around the neck. One, if he wanted to pull a free kick, and this was the free kick.
Well, Fraser got him back with a couple, so why aren't they as equal to the ones
That's
that
why
are
it should have just
first?
been, boys, settle down and let's play on.
Anyway, it's not. We're all whistling in harmony, aren't
Well,
we?
we are.
Fraser Garrick's whistling Dixie, or he was. He missed. Hit the post.
4-4 to Fraser.
It's going to be some battle between he and Matthew Lloyd and David Neitz. As to who, perhaps Alistair Lynch, as to who can win the Coleman medal this year. Certainly not going to be one way as it's been so often in recent years with Matthew Lloyd.
Well, great mark, Andrew Thompson. To Del Santo, to Black. This is number 33 for Heath Black. Winds up again, goes long, looks for Garrick. There's Milne, weaves his way through, got the handle, just a little bit of straight of power.
Oh, well done.
Clever tap to Hamill, around the corner. Still in play, there's 3 Saints here. Garrick got both hands on it, it's still in play. Handballs into the goal square, Powell, a month for Sundays, has kicked the goal. Well, they kept it alive, they kept it alive. And in the end, Stephen Powell just lurking shiftily in the goal square.
Yeah.
Got a goal.
Yes, and once again they had numbers. Numbers everywhere, St Kilda. And really just dictated play there.
Again, you say it though, it's a comprehensive win, but it's just entertaining to watch, isn't it? They play a great brand of football.
Well, they do. They actually play a fairly similar brand, particularly taking the ball into their forward half as Brisbane do, St Kilda. They've got the targets up forward.
Aussie Jones gives and gets and goes. Milne the target. He's off and running, well protected by Thompson. Stephen Milne started it, he deserves one to finish with. One for the road for Stephen Milne.
And Hutto, you've spoken about the possibility of matchups next week. Well, what about the midfield matchups against Brisbane next week? That will be an absolute highlight to see the likes of Hayes, Ball, Harvey, Del Santo go up against the likes of Lappin, Voss, Black, Akamanis. Should be a beauty.
Well, it's comprehensive now. It's a 10-goal drubbing. Ball spills free. Motlop will get there first. Overran it. Tired looking Motlop. Harvey on hands and knees. To Ball.
How good's that?
To Powell. Out wide. His target is Garrick. Oh, he got a favourable bounce. Kept it alive to Milne. He's got Hamill in support. Aaron Hamill, he's got loose men everywhere. He decided to go to Black, who kicks the goal anyway. It's another one.
It's party time.
Well, Heath Black, that finishes off one of the best days in his career. He's had 34 disposals. He's kicked 2 goals. And, well, he did put his hand up for the leadership group after he missed the transfer to the Dockers.
That's it.
And what a game he's had. And it's now 11 goals. 11 goals the difference. And again, they're an excellent side of keeping the ball alive, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they work hard for each other, and when they make a mistake, they're able to correct it just with the sheer support they have around the ball.
Saints by 66. Saints in 66, of course, their one and only premiership. And already I'm sure there's Saints fans that are starting to think it mightn't be too long until the next one. Voss out of the middle. Troy Schwartz says go. And Powell does. Not great kick this time. Lee Brown, who's been their most reliable defender, gives it to Baird, who just bombs it to the boundary line, hoping for Motlop to take a good overhead mark. into Simpson. He's going to end up with a 30-possession game himself, just about. But certainly he hasn't had the same effect as Heath Black or even Lenny Hayes. Black with 34, Hayes 33, Powell 27, Ball 24, Del Santo 20, Hamill 20. So they've got 6 players with 20 possessions or more. Kangaroos with just 2, Simpson with 30, and Grant with 26. Harris hasn't been their worst today.
He's still hunting St Kilda.
And Black still hunting as well. .35 possession game for Heath Black, if he ever kicks this one.
They'll come inboard now.
Lenny Hayes just propped for a moment, took Harris on, and that's probably the worst thing he's done all day. They'll keep trying though. Their second efforts are fantastic.
Interesting stat, Hutto. Just shows you how St Kilda have come of age. The last time they, have a guess the last time they beat the Kangaroos by 10 goals plus.
1966?
No, not far. 1969.
Oh, not far away.
No.
Here's McKernan getting one down to Shannon Grant for a late goal, perhaps.
So they're starting to create, I know we might be getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but they're starting to create some of their own history, aren't they?
Certainly. Well, 5 in a row to start the year, that's nothing to be sneezed at.
And coming off the Wizard Cup grand final win.
Yep.
They've done everything right so far.
Last team to beat them was Geelong in round 22 last year. Grant Thomas, I'm sure, won't bat an eyelid. But he has got a wonderful team at his disposal. What a win in the end, so powerful.
Points the final margin. They've got a perfect blend of the young and the old, Steve. As we go down to Andrew Marr.
Thanks very much, Hutto. Brent Voss. It must be fun to watch what they produce from the other end of the ground in a quarter like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we just hope they convert. So they did that today, which is pretty good.
Great way to start the year. 5 in a row. You're just up and running, and there's a buzz about the group. It must be an exciting group of players to be part of.
Yeah, it just comes from belief. We believe that we can win these games. Even if it goes right down the wire, we believe we can do it. So.
And you can see that amongst you blokes in the back. We focus a lot on the midfield and the forwards of this side, but you blokes want to keep the game alive. You refuse to kill the ball. You want to keep it alive and bring it back the corridor, and it all starts from down here. There seems to be a great belief amongst you blokes within the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's all down to Tomo and his game plan. Just, you know, he'll back us if we keep it moving. You know, once we start getting bogged down, that's when he starts to get a bit dirty on us. But, you know, the back line down there was a bit of a test today with Luke Penny and Max Hudson out. We stepped up again.
1 week at a time, mate. Brisbane next week.
Yeah, again, another chance to pit ourselves against the best, so it'll be good.
You took 14 marks against them last time you played them at this ground. Even your illustrious brother hasn't done that, so let's hope you get 15 next week and get the chocolates.
We can only hope.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Back to you, boys.
Brett Voss celebrating a Saints 65-point win, Steve. As we said, there's not much they lack, the Saints.
No, there's not. They've got a very good midfield. They've got a very potent forward line. And the question mark come the start of the year was how will their defence stand up? And for the first 5 games this year, they've done an amazing job. But as we've spoken, probably throughout that last quarters, is that the test comes next week against Brisbane.
Yeah, with the likes of Lynch and Brown, just to name a couple. I mean, they're really going to test them physically as well as well, ability-wise.
Well, and that's been really an area St Kilda. Physically this year, they've stood the test, and the test comes next week.
Well, they have. I mean, there's been a couple of sides that have tested them out that way. Essendon, one that springs to mind, and they've gone on with it.
Well, they have, and I think they've been really well led by Harvey and also Aussie Jones, who are two of their senior players.
So the Saints continue to march on in season 2004. A big 65-point win today over the Kangaroos. We'll take a break. Back to wrap up shortly.